Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're going to replace the battery. I have a 550i BMW, and this is a AGM battery. And you see here I have my original. This is the original BMW battery, and it's never been changed out. I actually checked in my OBD2 device here. It actually tells me if the battery was ever replaced, and it wasn't. So this is the original battery. So we took the panels out, and in my other video, you see where the panel, how the panel is taken out. The only other thing that I want to show is there's this panel back here that I already taken out, and it's only held on by clips. There's about 5 or 6 plastic clips. So once you take these clips out, there's a clip there, clip there, clip there, all the way across. This comes off, and then you can slide this off as well. And you see those are the clips that I took out. So that's how you take the whole panel out, and then you have total access to the battery. Now here you can see that what we're going to want to do is take off this clip here, this bracket that's holding the battery kind of in, and you see that there's also a bracket on this side, and then obviously you see the nut for the negative post. And then this is the distribution block for the power. And this is the nut for the distribution block for the power. So the first thing we're going to do is take off this bracket. And make sure when you do this that you make sure that your trunk doesn't close once you disconnect this battery. Because if you do, you're going to have a hard time getting back into the car unless you have a key that goes to the trunk that's manual. So we're going to take this off. And we used 12mm for that. And this should be the same size. And that easy, the bracket's off. This ground off first, and then take off the distribution block. And I will always wrap it with some type of towel, so you just don't want a ground hitting to metal. So you definitely don't want that. Now we're going to switch this out for another socket, 10mm. Take that off. This will come off. And then we're just going to wrap this. We don't want that hitting anything. Okay, and then now we're going to do distribution block. And there's brackets on each side. Just want to pull them out. There's going to be a bracket on this side. There you go. You hear that pop. Once you hear that pop, you know you're good. And just wiggle this. And that's all you need to do. This whole distribution block comes off. So a lot of people will look under here and try to take this off. You don't need to. This connects the distribution block together. So you can leave that on. You don't have to. Just leave that intact. You don't have to take it off. this whole block comes off. Okay, YouTube, on the side of the battery here, there's a little clamp that holds the battery in. So you just want to loosen that, and you're going to need an extension. Let me just loosen it. That's probably about loose enough. Okay. Alright. And yeah, it's already. That's a little bracket on the side to hold the battery in, and that was 14 millimeter. So now that everything is off, the hose is over here, which this battery doesn't have the filtration connection, so that's why it's just dangling. So now we could just lift the battery out. It comes right out. All right, and then you're gonna want to lift this up. I got to put the battery in. Yeah. Yep. And then make sure you pay attention to the positive side and negative side. Okay. I'm just gonna lay that down. Make sure you pay attention to the negative and the positive. Definitely don't want to cross those. And we're gonna put this bracket back in. Put it back down. And I'm gonna have to kind of line it up here. Okay, so once you've lined it up, and you're probably gonna have to push the battery to the left to make sure that it lines up with the bolt, and then you just tighten it. So once everything is lined up and adjusted, now we're just going to tighten it. Okay. And we don't have to over tighten it, but you just want to make sure it's snug. That's good. And you see it's nice and tight. And you can see in there it's actually holding the battery in now. So you know when you've got it adjusted and lined properly. Okay, so at this point we have the battery back into position. So remember, whenever you're changing out the battery, take the negative off first, then the positive, and when putting it back on, positive first and then negative last. You always want to ground it at the end, so ground it last. So we're going to go put the power distribution block back on. And we'll just tighten it down like so. So that's back on. These clips are back on. There we go. You hear it click. Okay. And then we're going to put the negative post back on. And we're just going to secure it down now. Like that. And now the power distribution block and the negative is, or the ground is connected back to the new battery. And now we're just going to put the bracket back. Alright, and these are 12 millimeters for the bracket. So you just want to secure these. And it's a 12 millimeter down here too. Secure. Okay, so we have our ventilation hose here. We're going to put the ventilation plastic piece into here. Like that. And there's a little cap on the side. Like a flathead. Little plastic piece comes out. Just gonna thread it through here, and then just put this in a little hole there. There you go, right there. So as far as the battery replacement, that's it. So we actually took off the bracket, took off the stop on the side here, and we took off the negative, took off the power distribution block along with these clips here, and pulled the battery out and swapped it for this new AGM battery. And you can see here, this is a H9 AGM battery, and that's the one that goes to my car. Some cars will probably be different, maybe H8 or H7, and this is 950 cold cranking amps. So you just want to make sure that you're putting in a comparable battery to the original BMW battery that we took out. So at this point, we're going to register the battery and then put the panels back, and then we're all set. Okay, so once the OBD2 device is connected and the car is on, then go to BMS reset. And we're going to register battery replacement. So we registered the battery successfully and the DME, and now it's entered into the system. And that's it. Easy. Now the battery is registered. So for people who are going to a store to get the battery and then have their taking that battery to the dealership to get it registered and having the dealership charge you, I'm sure they probably charge $200, $300, even more dollars just to register a battery. You can do it yourself with the OBD2 device, and this only cost me about $75 to $80. And I just registered an AGM battery to my 550i. So these are things that you can do yourself, easy. Just go get the battery, and now I'll return the original battery and then get my core charge back. So it's very simple, and this $80 device, you can not only read your codes, but you can not only monitor the battery that I did in my other video, but you can register that battery too. Alright, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, give me your feedback. Until the next video, thanks.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Visit beamermods.com for BMW performance intakes, clothing and accessories. Unleash your BMW engine. Increase horsepower.